Yeah, I drove over into the Clemson, South Carolina area to visit some family. I live about uh, I live about an hour um, from Clemson, so I was just like, look, I'll go live and talk for a little bit, and probably delete it. But driving through here today and being so close to the university, and I talked to Parker Henderson, and we were talking about the football season. I mean, 3 weeks from today is week 0. Now, of course, there's really no great games going on. The only interesting game is Navy and Notre Dame in Dublin, Ireland. But it's still college football. And then 4 weeks from today is when everything really kicks off. Of course, you have Clemson kicking off their season that Monday night. Florida State and LSU in Orlando on that Saturday or Sunday, excuse me. So we'll get some interesting games right off the bat. But it's just so incredible to be able to ride through the university and the surrounding areas. In fact, I might go downtown and grab me something to eat real quick. But y'all, I'm telling you, I'm so excited for the season. I did a video yesterday talking about, it was the preview and prediction for the Clemson 2023 season. And I said it then, I said it on the call with Parker, and I'll say it say it to you. I haven't been this excited about Clemson football since the year after Clemson won the national championship. You have to remember that season was the last season, the year after Clemson won the national championship. That was the last season that Jeff Scott was with the team. Of course, Trevor, T. Higgins, ETN, I mean, they were still with the team. So there was a lot of great things that was going on at Clemson. And so just to be able to have some expectation out of the offense. I mean, like, if you know me, I'm not a pessimist. I don't want to be seen as a guy who's just always negative. I've worked with people who they were always negative, and they felt like they were the smartest person in the room because they could point out a problem. I mean, if you're really smart, you point out a problem, but you also offer a realistic solution to it, you know? So I was trying to be optimistic that maybe Streeter would prove me wrong. Maybe DJ would come out of the funk that he was in. Maybe, just maybe, and it just didn't happen last year. And to see that Clemson, that Sweeney made that right hire in the offseason. The two best hires, and this is the tier or the breakdown that I give. The two tiers, I guess you would say. The best off-season head coaching hire was Hugh Freeze at Auburn. The best off-season coordinator hire was Garrett Riley to Clemson. And to know that we have that we have the solidified quarterback, he's going to, Cade has the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. I think that our offensive play, especially even on the offensive line, is going to be much better, just because of that. Right now, I'm right here at Little John Coliseum, right here at the baseball field as well. If you've ever been to Clemson, you're driving down 93 like you're coming from Seneca. You know exactly where I'm at. But I'll turn my camera around. Little John Coliseum's right there. But this is a wonderful campus, of course. Now, I was here a couple of weeks ago, and I saw where the Tiger Walk. They're almost done with the Tiger Walk. In fact, I'm going to pull out. I'm going to pull over here at the stadium, get out, and walk around for a second. Once again, as I said, that I probably will delete this video. So here's my view from the car right now. Not too shabby. And to know that in a few weeks, I say a few weeks, but it'll be about 6 weeks from now, the Charleston Southern game will go on. And even though it's Charleston Southern, this place is there's going to be a lot of people 6 weeks from right now. And I say 6 weeks, it's 5 weeks. Forgive me. Someone's probably in the comment section going, the idiot doesn't know. He doesn't even know what he's doing. Let's go ahead. But there's Little John. And there's the stadium. The Oculus, beautiful Oculus. That was a really cool design to have that as the, really the championship look. It's really exciting. I'm going to walk down as far as I can. They still have construction. If you'll look down, you can see the Tiger Walk. Everybody forgive me if the audio is poor here. I've been having some issues with the microphone on my phone, but as you can see, the Tiger Walk is basically done. Even the grass beside looks incredible. But as you look at the Oculus, you think about what's been done here. I mean, this is just, it's a good thing. Being a lifelong Clemson fan, and I'm 40, so I was born in 1982, and I think about that even to this day, still the majority of my Clemson experience has been still with Clemson playing lackluster football. Even with all the Sweeney years, we have the great statue there. A few weeks ago, I had my little boy had his picture taken there. But yeah, Nicholas brings up a great point there. Some of you, I can see your comments. Some of you, I can't. I'm sorry. Right here on the back side of the stadium, by the way. It's a great place. But still, I mean, even with the Sweeney years, the majority of Clemson, my Clemson experience has been, as you said, with the Tommy West years. I barely remember the Ken Hatfield years. I remember when Ken Hatfield got fired. They went 8-3, but they lost 54 or 57 to nothing to Florida State, who ended up winning the national championship. They ended up losing to North Carolina, I believe, 24-0. And then I think the straw that broke the camel's back is when they lost to Wake Forest. Now, this is not a Wake Forest team at the time that you're sitting there going, oh wow. I mean, Wake Forest, they were respectable a few years ago. No. This was a Wake Forest team that you could take a really good local high school and beat. So between Ken Hatfield and then Tommy West, you know me, I try to be respectful to human beings because I just don't want to rip anyone. Tommy West might have been a good coach maybe for another school, but when Clemson, you have to understand, when Clemson hired Tommy West, I want to say the year before the year that he was hired, because remember, they fired Hatfield. Clemson had made it to the Peach Bowl to play against Kentucky. All right. And Tommy West did something that was interesting. Tommy left UT Chattanooga, and he coached the bowl game. Now think about that. He's been coaching an entirely different team the entire season, Clemson's had an entirely different head coach. And you really you don't see that. And here walking behind the stadium as I'm talking to you. But he coached, and there was a lot of Clemson people who wanted West here. They were like, oh, man, he's got, forward ties and all these things. And folks, that's why I always come back to, and you've heard me beat the drum really hard to probably an obnoxious level. By the way, stick with me. I'm going to the hill right now. I probably can't get in. It's probably locked up, but you'll be able to see the stadium. But the thing that I really want to remind people about is that West was, by a lot of people, a fan favorite. Look at this right here, Death Valley. We're down here at Gate 5. Gate 5. So if you've ever been to Death Valley, you know exactly where I'm at. You have Jervy right up there. Or no, not Jervy. Fike. Forgive me. And then, of course, after the Tommy West years, you got Tommy Bowden. The year that they hired Tommy Bowden, you have to remember he had just went undefeated with Tulane. He had Sean King as a quarterback. And I mean, they were undefeated. And that was in the years that Bobby Bowden scared everybody. So to have a Bowden, to have a name that was worthwhile, come to Clemson after, basically the 90s had been a wash. A lot of people don't know this. It was like 1992 or 1993, somewhere in there. Clemson had the number 4 recruiting class in the country. A lot of people forget that. Look at this. This is just awesome, y'all. I mean, this is in just 5 weeks. I think it's 4 weeks. Sorry, I keep saying 5. Look at that. I can't get inside. But this place is going to be rocking. There we go. There's Howard's Rock. There we go. Got the field. In 5 weeks, this place will be, even though it's Charleston Southern, will be insane. But folks, here's the thing that I want to remind you about. That, as I said, the Tommy Bowden years, I was a good hire at the time. It's easy to go, well, hindsight says that considering Clemson had been in the toilet bowl for such a long time, Tommy Bowden actually that was a good hire. And initially, he was doing some good things. It just never came to fruition. I think it was the 2004-2005 season. Clemson lost like 4 games by a total of 17 points or something like that. It was something outlandish. And no matter what they did, no matter who they recruited, no matter who they hired, it just seemed like they couldn't get over they just couldn't get over the hump. 10 wins eluded us so bad during that time. Just look at that, the Tiger. It's awesome. With the sun coming down behind it, it probably looks great, but as I'm walking back to my car, now I've got to walk all the way back around. I would walk back over the hill over here and come back down, but construction is out of the way. Also, is in the way, excuse me. And just to also let you know, I'm hungry, so I want to go get something to eat.
That's what I want to do. But as I'm walking back past the stadium, seeing how Sweeney has taken things and done so well, he built the expectation of excellence. When he came on as the interim, he built the expectation. So I want to pause there and tell you, are Clemson fans spoiled? Yes. But who set that expectation? Who set that expectation? It was Sweeney. Why does Alabama expect to be in the national championship hunt? Did they just dream that up? No. Alabama. I remember when Alabama was just okay. Nick Saban turned them around. You know it, I know it. He built that expectation. So, while we are quote-unquote spoiled to a point, Sweeney also set that expectation. And I'm going to tell you, you've heard me talk about this a lot. His facility is just so much fun. Beautiful park across the way. If you've never been to this campus, you should come down here. But I will tell you that I was concerned that Sweeney had become complacent, and I'd said that on my broadcast, and a lot of people said that I was wrong for that, but everything started pointing towards yes, he was. But I always came back to that if he would do things in the way that got him to the championship caliber football. And I think right now I'm having some streaming issues. Hopefully it'll catch back up. But if he would just come back to championship football, and that mentality and that approach, I said that I truly believed that we would see the results again. And sure enough, he goes and he hires Garrett Riley. He fires an offensive coordinator after only 1 year. I mean, that's aggressive. So, with that said, people are asking me where I'm going to eat. By the way, I know that I'm looking at the comment section for right now, so bear with me. But can you hear me? If in the comment section, if you'll say yes or if it's broken up, please let me know. Also, by the way, I would tell y'all where I'm going to eat, but this is the internet, and I would love to see Huffer Billy Paul and anyone else safely who would want to meet me, but this is the internet. You never know who might show up. One of those not found out, I don't know, rapist or something that wants to kill low-level YouTube personalities. But going back to what I was saying about Sweeney, what I was saying about Sweeney is that he made that hire. He made the fire. I mean, you got to think, when he fired Brandon Streeter played quarterback for Clemson. He'd been in the Clemson system for a while. I can't blame Sweeney for giving him a shot, okay? He had been the quarterback's coach with Deshaun Watson, Kelly Bryant, Trevor Lawrence, maybe even Taj. I can't remember that. Y'all forgive me. Mayhem Matthew Sports says it's caught up now. Thank God. I was looking down going, good grief, this looks awful. But that was a tough break to do, or a tough decision to make. And so for him to do that, that shows that he is still the same guy who wants to be a great competitor. And I'm glad about that. I give him props about that. I go back to saying that our offense, I believe our offensive line is actually going to be, I could be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. But SEC dog, I just saw your comment. It threw me. It's funny. That was funny. But I think that we could see Clemson's offensive line actually be more respectable, and all because of the play call. I just dropped my wallet. Folks, this is a great time to pick me off. I'm out here in my car picking up my wallet. I dropped it. All that YouTube money's falling out on the street. If my wife was here, she would go, what YouTube money? But right here, everything will hopefully readjust here in just a moment. But y'all please forgive me. I know that things are slowing down here. I just put you there at my steering wheel. But I think the offensive line play could possibly benefit just from the new system, just because. You say, why? Well, the defense doesn't know what's coming at this point. And the offense has a new quarterback who can move in the pocket really well, who brings a lot of energy to the field. And, I think that you're actually going to see some increased productivity from Clemson's offensive line just because of that. But transparently, it's going to be up to that line. And as I did a breakdown this week, and if you haven't watched my preview and prediction, even if you want to turn it on 1.25 speed to play it faster, as you go through the offensive line, Clemson, even I have been guilty of talking about Clemson has to recruit better on the offensive line. There's a lot of players on the offensive line from Clemson who were high four-star players. You have to remember that Tristan Lee, the tackle, he was recruited in the same cycle with Will Shipley, and he was actually the highest rated player that we recruited at that time. He was higher rated than Will Shipley. So we have the players. We have the players on the offensive line. It's just a question of development, a question of play calling, play creativity. And I'll tell you this, if you have someone on a team and they don't believe in what you're doing, good luck. I mean, really, good luck. So, now, in an ideal world, someone would say, no matter what, I'm going to go out there and give 100%. I'm going to bust my butt. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. But you and I know that in the real world, that it just doesn't happen like that, right? So, driving past Riggs Field right now. Turn over here. You can see nothing but bushes and Trees. I'm sorry. Oh man. But I'm really excited. As I said, in 3 weeks is week 0, and 4 weeks is Clemson's first game at Durham. A bunch of guys on mopeds. I bet they're picking up some women. Wow. Am I hating on their moped game? Absolutely. This is hilarious. I can go downtown and get me a bite to eat. I think that's what I'm going to do before I go home. Hey, it'll be very difficult to go somewhere and eat down here in 5 weeks, even with Charleston Southern coming to town. 6 weeks will be Florida Atlantic, and in 7 weeks from today, Florida State comes to town. And you have to ask yourself, okay, so let's stop there, and I'm going to do a preview on Florida State. Florida State is a good football team, all right? They are a good football team. We can't take that away from them. I'm not going to be an idiot and say, oh, they're not a good football team. But Florida State is, I think they're overrated. In fact, if I was Mike Norvell, I would be like, please don't say all those things about our team. I want everyone to think that we're good, but not great. I want everybody to think that we're like a number 18 team in the country that you have to respect, but no, we're not that great, so we could sneak up on. That's not what's happened with Florida State. Florida State has, on the other hand, been so pumped up that I don't even know if their players are psychologically ready for the expectation placed on them. And that's just being honest. I have got turned around here. I am behind I think it's Back Street. I think it is. So funny how empty this street is, and everything is about to change. Everything is about to change. If you're near Clemson right now, try to drop me a line in the comment section. But once again, it's always kind of worrisome saying that on the internet. Whoa! Holy crap! Hold on 1 second. I know my hand just went in front of the. Okay, 2-hour parking from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Well, it's 7. Huffer Billy says he's in Roswell, Georgia. Nicholas Powell's in Pendleton. RR says just drop by Aunt D's. By the way, Nicholas Powell, I have ate at Rails a few different times. Food's very good there. I know excuse me. I know some people there. Out walking about. Let's see where we land. There's Mr. Knickerbocker. Oh man. It's warm out here, y'all. It's warm. Try the onion rings, they're great. Walking up through here. I better not do zippity doo dah. Guess why? They'll flag me for copyright or something like that. Alright, so here's M.H. Frank. I have been to M.H. Frank with Chase Henderson. Went to Florida State game together, and he had to pick up a suit that he had tailored there. It's a very nice place. Everybody was very nice there. They're Sully Steamers. Oh, they have a Sully Steamers downtown here? Huh. I bet that the one in Greenville is very good. I'll probably download this video and chop it up. Hotter. I'll try not to repeat that, Nicholas, but I'm telling you, bro, it is hot. It's not the hottest I've ever felt it here in Clemson, but it's warm. Tigertown Tavern. Also known to us locals as Triple T's. I almost fell there. Across the street you have the study hall. That's a restaurant. It's actually not a study hall that I know of. Let me see. I'm going to go across the street here. I'm rubbing my eyes and it makes me think I'm picking it. People's probably going, ew, the boomer's picking his nose. So, what's the name of this place? I always forget. I went in there the other day with Bobby Durkins Jr. 356 across the road. Been to 356. I'll never forget, I came to 356 one year. Clemson was playing against South Carolina in the Valley. I want to say this was Kyle Parker's last year. Judge Keller, you're right, Hufferbilly, that's it. And so, I remember coming to a game here, or coming to 356, and I think it was Kyle Parker's last year. Taj Boyd came in. I mean, we had Nuke. We just couldn't beat them, man. We just could not beat them that game. And so I remember sitting at 356 watching that game. There's loose change. It's interesting. If you know where I'm walking to right now, you know where I'm walking to. That was a ditzy comment, wasn't it? If you know where I'm walking to, I'm walking to. Real quick, the line at Tillman Hall real quick. You can't see Tillman Hall because all the leaves and trees and crap. Let's see if they're open. Hey, can I get a table for one? No. I'll get a copyright strike. That's perfect. Thanks. All right, thanks. Yeah, you got it. You figured it out, Hufferbilly Paul. So if you're even semi-familiar with Clemson, you know that there's TD's. TD's is fantastic. It's a great little hamburger joint. I would flip, if you haven't been here, I would flip the phone around and let you see what I see. But there's people sitting here, and transparently, I don't know if they would really appreciate me showing them to you. I'm definitely getting a copyright flag because there's music playing in the background. SEC dog, armadillo on the half shell. I don't know if that's a comment posted to someone else or whether it's to me. So hold on a second. That might be. Y'all, I like to try different types of foods, but I am more than happy to be boring and just get a cheeseburger. And that's probably what I'm going to do. With some onion rings. I mean, that'll work. Hold on one second. I'm doing well. If you're in a place, I can go ahead and give you my order.
Yeah, of course.
If I can get a plain cheeseburger with an order of onion rings and a Coke to drink. Well, you can put cheese. Yeah, that's okay. All right, thanks.
You said, what exercise?
Onion rings.
Onion rings instead of Coke?
Yeah.
Sorry, well,
No, that's fine. That's fine. I told you I was boring. You could tell that girl could tell I was on a video. And she was like, I don't want to be on this. Now, most people don't want to be on my videos, even including me at times. Going through, Stephen Fry wants me to turn into Bobby Durkins for like a minute. I'll tell you right now, this is a rather intelligent crowd in here tonight. So, even though we're in Clemson, South Carolina, and even though we're in a college hamburger joint bar, I honestly think that these people wouldn't. Let's see. These people are actually paying attention. Maybe if I give them, I guess I can go. Okay, now Nicholas is chanting via chat, Bobby, Bobby, Bobby. You can just do the face and you know it's Bobby. No, this is a really cool place to come to. TD's has been here for a while. Puffer Billy Paul says, Clemson has smart people too, like Bobby Durkin. My there, booger. Yeah. Yeah, so if you come to Clemson, you got to come to TD's. I'm a fan of it. They do a good job here. It's not gourmet food. Parker Henderson is admitting his less than lackluster moments. But Nicholas Powell wants me to sing a song. I guarantee you I could tear the place up singing Pick Your Dookie Chicken. Which, by the way, I mean, once you write a song like that, how do you come back from it? Puffer Billy Paul says there's a few great places in Clemson. I need to move there. Yeah, there he is. There he is. There he is. So going back to the football team, one of my main concerns for Clemson is that if they do hit kind of on all cylinders in the beginning of the season, do they have the maturity to be able to sustain that? You know, it's one thing to have success, but it's another thing to have success and be able to sustain it, right? So the number one thing that I look at is that, or question, is their ability to be able to consistently and totally stay consistent. You know, that's the reason when I did the preview prediction, I said realistically I see them going 11-1. Being undefeated is not out of the question, right? But Tiger Cat said, I'm sorry, this is not Bobby Durkins. No, this is just regular O'Brien. My biggest concern is will the moment get too big for some of the younger players? Then you turn around and you look at a guy like Will Shipley, he's not a younger player. Phil Moffa's not a younger player. Most of our offensive line is, seniors. So it is That would be a question. RR believes Clemson's going to lose to Notre Dame. RR, I'll tell you the same thing I said in my video yesterday, and that is, by the time Clemson plays Notre Dame will have already played Ohio State, Southern Cal, and NC State. So if they come into that game, that Clemson game, and I'm reading y'all's comments and it's hilarious. If they come into that Clemson game, Notre Dame comes into the Clemson game and they only have one loss, and that one loss is very close, Clemson could have their hands full. But I will tell you this, if Notre Dame comes into Death Valley and they have two losses where they lost by 2 or 3 touchdowns plus, maybe the $400 per ticket, nosebleed tickets, you know, where you're basically, you know, having to be lifted to your seat by helicopter is not worth it. Maybe Notre Dame is not going to be that great, if that's the case. But we'll have to wait and see. Notre Dame still has a lot of talent. They have a new offensive coordinator since Tommy Rees left and went to Alabama, which, by the way, selfless plug, shameless plug. It's not selfless. It's actually self-serving and shameless. I did an Alabama preview and prediction today, and I can go ahead and give you the summary of that one. Still go watch it, pass it around to your friends, and blah, blah, blah. Alabama was or will be faced with their biggest problem will be with their quarterback situation. That's the biggest situation that Clemson's going to have, or not Clemson, Alabama's going to have, is their quarterback situation. And if they nail down their quarterback situation, that's going to be a major plus. And I know that's like a does statement. That's one of the ABCs of football. You have to have good, solid quarterback play. And then the next thing is, you know, how good is Tommy Rees as an OC? And then Kevin Steele, you remember the guy that Dabo fired after the West Virginia loss, right? For losing 70-33. Well, he's now the new defensive coordinator for a second time at Alabama. So that's going to be interesting for Alabama. But going back to Notre Dame, RR said, you said that Notre Dame would lose last year. Yeah, I was expecting our offense to do something, you know, resembling moving the ball, and then it left our defense out on the field in a terrible, horrible position for the entirety of the game. And Clemson lost by 3 touchdowns. But by the time Clemson plays Notre Dame, barring injury, I think that Clemson's going to be in good shape, and it's going to be a very competitive game. I think that is one of the toss-up games. The 2 toss-up games with Florida State and Notre Dame. The games for concern is NC State and South Carolina. Those are 2 games of concern. I say, I'm not saying it's a toss-up, but it's a game you have to respect. And so I would just say that I think that Clemson is in a way better position this year than what they were going up to Notre Dame. I love seeing everybody run their mouth in the comment section. SEC Dog. SEC Dog is one of my favorite Georgia fans. He's one of my favorite people who shows up here, and I'm going to tell you why. He's not a Clemson fan. So it's not like he's like, oh, we're all in and we love Dabo. He could care less about Clemson. But He's a lot like me when it comes to my team. I pull for my team. I love my team. But if we have a bad coordinator, I'm going to tell you we have a bad coordinator. If my head coach makes a bad hire, I'm going to say, though I think the world of Dabo Swinney, he made a bad hire. I like that. Well, folks, you know what? I'm going to turn this off. I have people staring at me. I don't think that I'm talking that loud. I could be wrong. It would not be the first time. My wife says that I'm one of the loudest whisperers ever. And by the way, I normally don't drink soft drinks, but I really didn't feel like nasty, unsweet tea, which I normally drink. And if you ask for half and half, people always give you sweet tea. So, well, folks, listen, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for joining me. I'll probably delete this video or download it and chop it up into parts and put it up later. I will tell you that on the Bobby Durkins channel that I have been doing shorts where Bobby Durkins, listen to me, before you go, please hear me. Bobby Durkins has been giving facts on in a new thing, my friend, called You Mean to Tell Me. And it's people are really liking it. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. The Bobby Durkins shorts. Also, check out some of the shorts that I've done recently on this channel. So, everybody, thank you so much. We're 3 weeks from week 0. We're 4 weeks from opening weekend with Clemson. We're 5 weeks from Charleston Southern, the first home game. We are 7 weeks from the Florida State game. It's getting here. It's getting close. Y'all take care of yourself. Thanks for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you very soon.